What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on Release the Snyder Cut. Is Zack Snyder's Justice League going to be released? Well, I was sent an interesting clip from a bunch of you guys on Instagram at Warstu if you want to follow me. So it appears Warner Brothers Studios for the first time ever have officially gone on record and addressed the Snyder Cut. Because everything before this and also in between this was tidbits like inside source said this, inside source said this, but this is realistically the first time we actually have concurrent evidence that Warner Bros. Know about the release of Snyder Cut. So, Harlequin animated series. Now, I did some digging to see the publication because obviously we know it Warner Bros., but it's not made by, the production company's not Warner Bros. It's distributed by Warner Bros. Television Distribution. So, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the pop culture-based content. At the 100,000 subscriber mark, I will be giving away something so damn cool. So all you got to do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on to get a chance. And also, guys, if you are supporting the channel, please follow me on twitch.tv/Warstu. It'll be in the link in the description. Much appreciated. So let's get into the video. So, we've got a few things to talk about, but I've got to talk about this Release the Snyder Cut. Okay, so I don't know words were physically spoken about Release the Snyder Cut. The fact that Warner Bros. Sanctioned this t-shirt saying Release the Snyder Cut tells me something is happening behind the scenes. Now, I know what some people are going to say. This means that Warner Bros. Is so mad, and this backs up the scoop that was never followed up by anyone or any other publication. You know, the scoop that said Warner Bros. Is very angry at Zack Snyder and they never want to work with him ever again. Okay, well, if that's the case, well, why don't you recast everyone that Zack Snyder hired? Recast Gal Gadot, recast Jason Momoa, don't recast Henry Cavill, recast... Oh, you've already recasted Ben Affleck. You get my point, right? We're never going to work with him again. Even if they don't, that's quite common. It's like if you get a job and you don't want to work for them again, you don't work for them again. So it is pretty interesting. So, does this mean that there is no Snyder Cut? Because we already know there's a Snyder Cut, and every time I do this video, Warstu, you said in the thumbnail that the Snyder Cut was coming out. No, read the title properly, correctly first before you say anything down below, please. Thank you very much. So there's a Star Wars t-shirt and a Release the Snyder Cut t-shirt in this, which is cool. No, guys, I do not own any Release the Snyder Cut t-shirt or anything like that. I do support the cause, as I am the founding father of the Snyder Cut. I founded it, or at least I'm in it. I've been making Justice League videos for over 2 years. I mean, yes, not consistently, because I only speak when I want to speak, okay? So, I was sent this by a lot of people, and I don't really think it means anything, but I did some digging on it, and it still doesn't mean anything. But the internet blew up a week or so ago. I was DM'd about it. It's to do with Harlequin Season 2 animated series and there being a t-shirt, and that's literally it. The Last Jedi is not canon shirt. It's pretty funny. But actually, something even greater came out of it. As a charitable drive through IN Inc. to the people is underway thanks to animated show. So apparently, this show... actually these t-shirts are for sale or something, and you can actually buy them. As of the time of recording this, apparently it's raised a lot of money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and you can actually order them. So it wasn't just trolling or anything like that, but you have to go back to what Zack Snyder said. And no, I've never met him, although I have met David S. Sandberg, Zachary Levi. I've met a bunch of DC people in like press meetings and stuff before. So it is interesting. So if you go back to the fan invite BVS screening where Zachary Snyder ended it with saying maybe there should be a follow-up where they all team up together, or maybe something like that. So it is clear that Zack Snyder is working on something. He really is working on something. Now it's so clear, because you know all these images that he released into Vero. Well, I'm going to let you into a little exclusive information here. He technically wouldn't have to get permission to use them images. Yes, I know I'm verified on Vero, and Vero is not like Instagram, so technically Zack Snyder can post anything he wants in Vero without any ramification. But do you not think if the scoop that said that there is no negotiations going on. Apparently Zack Snyder asked for too much money and they were like no, and then he walked away and then never wanted to work with him again. Now, do you not think if that's the case, they'll just legally, they would shut Zack Snyder down, like legally, like, Zack, you need to stop talking or else we're going to take you to court because it's just getting out of reach. Do you not think if that was the case that would be happening? Now, as we know, HBO Max is coming out this month, but is it going to have the release of Snyder Cut? No, guys, it's not going to have the release of Snyder Cut because, as we know, Zachary Snyder has to do some other stuff, but they could put the Ayer cut, you know, release the Ayer cut, Suicide Squad. You know, the fact that Joker had like 90% of scenes but were cut from the movie. You know how they changed the whole villain and they changed a lot of things to do with it, which was interesting. So I'm referring to the article, if you go back, it's on fandomwire.com, which I know nothing about. I don't know how validity, I don't know if it's got any precedent, if it's even correct, but we've been over this story before. You know the story where it says the fact that Warner Bros. Did take a meeting with Zack Snyder to discuss the project, but Snyder requested $20 million and the permission to reshoot parts, and they said, no way, Jose. So yeah, the thing is, like, I talk to people, I talk to insiders, I talk to credible people in the industry, and you really don't ever know if a story is true until the studio head or whoever's in charge of the studio literally comes out and says something. Until they come out and say something, you don't really know anything. But it's not looking good for the release of Snyder Cut fans, I guess you could say, or Zack Snyder fans. But I find it interesting how people say that Snyder Cut fans are so toxic when, like, realistically, they're not. They just want Zack to get the work out that he worked on for years and years. Is that too much to ask for? Well, yeah, it's looking that way. So I thought I'd cover release of Snyder Cut because I've not done it well. Am I expecting the release of Snyder Cut to come out on HBO Max on release? No, but I am expecting to see it someday, maybe 2 years or something like that. But it is an interesting transition in DC at the moment anyway, because it looks like they're getting rid of DC Universe to replace it with HBO Max. As we know, the mobile phone giant in America owns DC Warner Bros. So it looks like DC Universe will reportedly be like removed, like they're getting rid of it, so to speak. So it's interesting because you go back to these articles and they all condescend and they all kind of contradict each other's, because if you go back to an article dated back the 15th of April, Snyder Cut very much in play, and that comes from our good friend Grace Randolph, who blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why, but yeah, so it is interesting because she's credible. She said this, you know, she was in a movie, she used to work for Disney, she actually lives in Hollywood, she has real sources. But like I say, guys, everyone's wrong and everyone's right in some capacity sometimes. So it is interesting how, yes, we know there is VFX left to do, but if you watch Batman vs Superman theatrical release, then you watch the extended cut, you're damn lying if it didn't change your opinion on that movie, because the extra 30 minutes context that they added on the extended cut extended the movie, and then it kind of made it like to the point where people that didn't like it thought it was better, so to speak. So there has massively been rumors of this movie releasing this very month on HBO Max, which I'm sad to tell you guys, as the founding father of the Snyder Cut, that it's not coming. It's really not coming. I would be very surprised as an avid kind of, I guess you say, fan of wanting to see the Justice League movie, the real one. I don't think it's coming. Now, as much as every single Justice League HBO Max post gets bombarded with comments about release of Snyder Cut. So on May the 7th, they teased the launch of HBO Max on the 27th, and guess who was first on there? Yes, Henry Cavill's Superman. So let me get this straight. They're getting rid of Henry Cavill, but he's the first person to be on the advertisement for HBO Max's new service, which owns Warner Bros. And DC. So you get my point. Release of Snyder Cut is going to come in some capacity at some point. We just don't know when. So could you take this as confirmation of Zack Snyder's Justice League? I mean, I think you could in a way if you want to get that rope out and start stretching something. But yeah, there is something definitely there. There's more there than like Marvel news, so to speak. There's definitely something there, something factual. We know. We spoke to people behind the scenes. We know there's something there. But I'm not going to keep preaching the same darn stuff every week about release the Snyder Cut, because we know there's something there. It's just a case of if HBO Max is going to overrule Warner Bros. Like, yeah, he's going to release it. Let him release it. But what would be interesting would be if we got to see the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie back from 2016, the original one. That would be even better. The extended cut, the real extended cut that's seen the Joker, Jared Leto, more prominent. Yes, he's playing Morbius in the movie next year. But that would be better if we could get the more prominent cut of the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie. I really liked Suicide Squad. I mean, the overall villain wasn't great, but I really liked it. So I know you guys really love these Snyder Cut videos, and please listen to the whole video before you comment and go, you just put a headline that's not true, guys. It is true. It is coming to HBO Max at some point. But I see a lot of websites saying stuff like, a devastating new leak reveals more bad news for Snyder Cut fans. Really? And then they're citing the same thing. The same darn thing. Snyder Cut is not coming to HBO Max. Unnamed sources at Warner Bros. Claim the studio would never ever work with him again. Really? Really? I mean, after Watchmen, after 300... Really? No, guys, they're going to work together at some time in the future at some capacity. Snyder Cut is going to come out. It's just a case of when it comes out. But at least with this teaser that Warner Bros. Have put out there, they are demonstrating that negotiations are going on. And I don't believe that they are trolling the Snyder Cut fans. They're really not. It was just a fun little parody scene. And it's neither more or less. So, like always, guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. I am your founding father. I am the Justice League Snyder Cut founding father, but I am not the founding father. You know why I say that if you're a real supporter here. So, like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.